Hey, well, today is the 25th of April, which is ANZAC Day. So I want to share my comments, criticisms on ANZAC Day today. ANZAC means Australian New Zealand Army Corporation, and basically in Australia and New Zealand we commemorate what happened in the battles in the World War One, World War Two. For the people who made the great sacrifice, right? And it's a tricky thing because we're having an attitude of gratitude about what was done for us, those terrible things that happened to New Zealand soldiers, but also understanding that war is not a good thing. It's not something to glorify. Now, in particular, what I want to talk about is male disposability, men as utilities. That was their role in the wars. And it still is to an extent today for the guys in the military. So you go off to fight this war, let's say. I mean, I know it's very complicated and there's all sorts of political stuff in the background, but let's say, Hitler is an evil, nasty man and we have to fight this war to fight for our freedom. Let's just go with that, okay? Well, who's going to do it? It's the men. The men are like the meat shields, and in World War One, it literally was like that. You just fucking fight for years in over the same 500 meters of land, just killing thousands and thousands of guys, just fucking meat shield, so that the woman and the children could stay at home. Yeah, they pitched in with the work when the men were gone and stuff, but the fact is that in order for society to survive, to thrive, to live, men have to be used as utilities. They have to be viewed as being disposable. Because let's imagine, for example, if we treated men like women are treated by feminism and equal rights, and we said, it's really quite unfair that, things like 93% of workplace deaths are men, and all these men going off to die. What about their rights? The women are entitled to live, but the men have to go to the front lines and die for everyone. If society rejected that, then society, whatever nation or society did that, they would disappear. So for example, you take World War II with Hitler and the Allies versus Germany and Japan and Austria and all those various countries. Let's say that Hitler putting all his men out there, they're the utilities, they're disposable, to fight, to conquer. But we won't have conscription because men, they have their entitlements, they have their rights. And we won't foster a culture where we give men the white feather and tell them to do their job and make the ultimate sacrifice because they were born with a particular gender. The fact is, we never would have won because the woman, they weren't going to go out and fight, and if they did, I doubt they would have won. Yeah. Now, even in peacetime, and in Western countries, it is basically peacetime. This still continues on a microcosmic scale, a microscopic scale. For example, if you're with a woman, you are basically her unpaid bodyguard. And this will depend on how well you know the woman and the severity to which she's being damaged or treated. So, for example, if you're with your girlfriend and a man starts hitting on her and she doesn't like it, you're probably going to have to sort that out. If it was a stranger being hit on by a man, you probably wouldn't do that unless you're a huge fucking white knight. And then also, let's say, but if there was a stranger and a man was sexually assaulting her, then, you might go and intervene in that, right? Because you're the unpaid bodyguard. And this is, again, being used as a utility for the woman. And you're seen as disposable. You might have to take a fucking bullet. Who knows what that guy is going to do, right, to you? So, yeah, I was at the dawn parade this morning. Got up around 5:30. And dawn parade was at 6, lasted about half an hour. and it's a nice little service. And I noticed the narrator, the speaker, was talking about he's grateful for the men and women who contributed and allowed us to have the freedom we enjoy today. And yes, it's true, there are women involved. But let's be honest, let's be frank. Most of it was the men, okay? I'm not being sexist, I'm not being misogynist. I think I'm being real on that, okay? It was the men who were fighting for our freedom. And it's a shit deal to be a fucking man sometimes, okay? And fucked up thing is, most men, they'll take it. They will take it. Get married, they'll go to war, they'll fucking mine coal. And, all they really want is, first of all, like, honor. Honor has a lot to do with it. People, don't want to be dishonored. A bit of respect, a bit of recognition, maybe, That definitely helped keep men in the game and playing the game. But nowadays, man, fuck, like, not only do you still have to do all that shit that we used to, like, have to fight, you gotta pay your taxes and work hard, and boys don't cry and all that shit. But we can't even be fucking men anymore, you gotta... Otherwise you're a chauvinist, right? So as what I'm saying is, it's like the Pavlovian classical conditioning. You feed the dog and you ring the bell, you give them a little reward, and it kind of conditions them. And men, operate with very little reward. But the thing is, you barely even get that nowadays. And these days, ANZAC Day is a big fucking day. Like, it's probably... Because we got Waitangi Day, but that's just surrounded with negativity and fucking colonialism and all that stuff, and no one's really happy about it. But at least ANZAC Day, we kind of look back like, that was pretty cool that, we stepped up to the plate, and now we have a fucking awesome country, and we can get taken over by Japan, and we're not speaking Japanese or German now. That's good, but it wasn't always like that in New Zealand. And it's a common story. These men who put themselves on the line, and some of them paid the ultimate sacrifice, a lot of them weren't met with warm welcomes, when they came home. And that must be kind of shit, man, to just be so selfless and be like, yep. I mean, yeah, there was adventure and all of that, and, fight the Nazis and stuff, but it's not a walk in the park. So, yeah, a lot of the RSAs, Return Service Associations, were, like, closed down and stuff. And it's just like, when the Vietnam soldiers got back, they were not met with open arms, and a lot of them are, homeless and stuff, and not treated very well, despite all that shit they went through. And yeah, that's the thing, man. It's a bad deal, even if you get your reward. But it's a really shit deal if you not only don't get your reward, you're met with scorn for doing your duty and putting yourself out there, as basically a utility, a pawn, a meat shield, a body on the battlefield. And so I think ANZAC Day, it's paying tribute to, some eventful stuff in New Zealand's history. And basically, like so many other things, the attribution belongs to men. Men fucking fought hard. They labored. They were victorious, and we owe them, all the wealth in our society now, all these good things that we have in our nation, New Zealand nation. We owe a lot of that to those guys that fought, and it was men. And so I think you could use ANZAC Day as kind of a case study that if people recognize that what happened was good, it's good for us. Now we recognize that, but it's not so explicit. Hey, ANZAC Day is a man's day. Everybody appreciates what the ANZAC Day is, but it's men who did that for us. And people, I think they kind of understand that. It's so obvious. You look at the clips, it's all the footage, man, it's all men. And but if you look at society in a wider sense, there's some recognition, like, yes, you know, all these cell phones and internet and computers, like, these are great. And it's kind of known, like, yeah, it's men who pioneered these things. But it's not explicitly attributed to men. Or, you know, all these fucking medicines and various inventions and technologies, all these geniuses that have great impacts on civilizing us, on basically helping to forge civilization, make everyone's life better. 90% plus, you know, it's men. And I think it's well understood. You know, it's well understood. But it's not very explicit. And I think it should be. I think it should be because, you know, men in general, I think most of us, I think for me at least, we understand what our role is as men. You know, boys don't cry. We've got to be stoic. You know, you feel pain, but you suck it up, and all that sort of stuff. You got to be disposable for society. You have to, in some sense, be sacrificial for the good of the wider society. Like, it's always been that way. It always will be. But, you know, for fuck's sake, at least dangle a carrot in front of me to tantalize me. You know, don't fucking slap me in the face and, you know, think that I'm going to be your work mule. So if there is any one essential point to this video, I think it would be that, you know, men, we get shit done. And, you know, if men stopped their work, you know, society would collapse overnight, mate, overnight. We owe a lot to men. New Zealand owes its life to the ANZACs and what they did. So let's fucking give some recognition, you know, to the men who do it, or did it.